OffBeat Sports Podcast presented by Celsius.
It's been a tale of two seasons for the Boston Celtics.
I probably aged about 10 years just from that series.
I'd probably compare myself to just a younger, smarter, more handsome, stronger Michael Jordan.
Let's go Celtics. Go Patriots.
These are guys who, when you give them a bowl of Cheerios in the morning, they finish every last drop of milk.
Absolute clown over here.
I'm ready when you are, baby.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the OffBeat Sports Podcast. Cross here, along with Harry and Aiden. We're going to be rolling with some Patriots talks today. First episode in a little while, so we're going to get back into it. Before we start, I just want to show off some nice little thing I put together at in-stadium practice. So I met Pro Bowl Mac Jones jersey. I got signed by like half the team, basically, including Daddy Mac, and very, very good time. Awesome souvenir that I will now frame. But yeah, all right, now let's get into it. How we doing, boys?
All things considered, I'm alive, so that's a start.
I know, right?
Yeah, doing pretty well here. Just, it's kind of the downtime of sports season. No Patriots or Celtics, no Bruins either. So we're getting through it.
Yeah, so, we're getting back into football season, which is always good. And Patriots are back. That's always a fun time. I know there's been some struggles in training camp, but how concerned are you guys with the reports coming out of training camp that Patriots aren't necessarily where they should be at this point?
Aiden, you can go ahead first.
I would say it makes me a little concerned, but I'm not really too worried about it. As long as Bill Belichick is still the head coach of the New England Patriots, I think they'll always have a fighting chance at a playoff spot. It does make me a little worried that the two men placed in charge of Mac Jones's development in this important year are Matt Patricia and Joe Judge. But as long as Belichick is kind of like overseeing everything, making sure everything is going according to what he wants, I wouldn't be too concerned about it. I think they'll be just fine. They'll get to where they need to be. Always start off slow anyways.
Yeah. By the way, this episode is brought to you by Celsius. Forgot in my intro, but here we are.
The heck, man, you're slacking.
Anyway, back to what Aiden said. When I'm looking at training camp, there can be some concerns where like timing's off, which I think we saw in the Panthers preseason game. Despite the win, I think on the first couple drives from Mac Jones, I was at the game. It seemed like just timing was off. There was a drop, which kind of hurt. You could definitely tell the timing of the routes was off.
That Devontae Parker drop was somewhat concerning.
Yeah, but I think that comes with time and working together. So, but then you could tell the third drive, they kind of put it together, and it was just like they absolutely manhandled them, and it just.
At the end of the day, everybody drops a ball like once or twice.
Yeah,
you know
and like preseason.
Yeah,
and nobody's going like crazy, trying to throw their back out to win a preseason game. You know what I mean? So I'm not too worried about it. Is it something to like, oh my God, Devontae Parker, he's supposed to be our number one guy. He dropped the pass. No, I don't really. It's not going to be that big of a deal. What I do think is going to be a pretty solid deal is the fact that two of our cornerbacks are on the IR. One of them guaranteed to miss the entire of the 2022 season, Jawan Williams. And Malcolm Butler found himself on the IR himself as well.
Yeah, and my thing about training camp is like people are like, "Oh, the offense is struggling," but my thing is with training camp, like especially before these joint practices, you're playing against your own team. So does that mean your defense is doing extremely well, or your offense is doing bad? So like it's also like it's give and take. Like you kind of like you're playing against yourself. So realistically, it might mean your defense is good, or it might mean your offense is bad. So like I can't really judge until we see them play week one.
No, that's completely understandable because if you really take into account of like what it means to be like a good football team, it's not just the stars you have on the lineup and like, the chemistry you guys have together. At the end of the day, it's like, the grit and grind of the players who actually want to go out there and win the game versus those who are just trying to get paid. You know what I mean? And I feel like you're looking at a solid lineup of guys who are just really excited not to win, not to get paid, but just to play the game of football. I mean, you look at Mac Jones, he's excited every win and loss he gets out there. He just loves throwing the ball. He loves being out there. Devontae Parker, I think, is very excited to be in a new system, especially one, as revolutionary as ours, whole city of champions thing. I see the excitement coming from the guys. Tyquan Thornton's injury is upsetting.
Yeah, well, let's get into the receivers. I mean, that's good transition.
Yeah.
Tyquan Thornton just got injured his shoulder. I think was it like a fractured clavicle or something?
Collarbone.
Yeah.
And he's out eight weeks, is what I'm seeing. Yeah,
Which is not great. Yeah.
Yeah, not great. He was actually playing really well, and he was earning his spot. And it was talks that because he was playing so well, we would have to trade one of our other receivers. I still think yeah, that sucks. I wish he wasn't hurt, but I don't know. I feel like we still have enough receivers that we're okay. We still have enough talent in the receiver room that that's not the worst thing. And he probably wasn't going to get a ton of reps in the beginning of the season anyway.
Yeah.
Because you have to try and beat out guys like Kendrick Bourne, Nelson Aguilar, Devontae Parker, Jacoby Myers. I just feel like with the guys we had in that wide receiver room, it's not beneficial that he's hurt. It's just he's not getting down for not playing, not playing because of the other wide receivers. And we're not pressured to try and dump off one of these receivers that we have. Now Tyquan Thornton can kind of take his time fitting into his role.
Yeah. And I was going to go back to what Harry was saying a minute ago about the Patriots have a lot of players that just love the game. And that's another reason why I wasn't concerned about their lack in training camp is this Thornton injury. It's not good. Eerily similar to what N'Keal Harry had to go through the beginning of his Patriots tenure with an injury before the first game. But the receiver room is much better than last year. And as Harry said, the players just love to play football, that they'll figure it out. Receivers will step up. I expect a much bigger season from Aguilar this year, a little bit of a down year. I think Jonnu Smith will be looking to prove people wrong. So I think while it is a big loss and he was playing great in the preseason, that they'll be able to survive without him until he's ready to come back, at least for that length of time.
For me, it's not so much as oh no, I'm worried for the Patriots because we don't have that, a really fast rookie wide receiver. It's more so I'm worried for him. You know what I mean? This was probably his best chance at making a claim for himself on the roster. Early season, yeah. He was going to get his reps in, and if he showed out, man, well, look at that. That's a speedy guy that's really good at beating the defense. If he can get past the defense and his hands are pretty solid, why not? That's a taller Tyreek Hill, you know what I mean? But it's upsetting. It's upsetting to see him go, not because of oh, now I'm worried for the sake of the team. I honestly don't think it affects us too much. I think it affects him, in his career a lot more, having to miss out on the first half of your rookie season. That's real, not even a punch to the chest. That's like taking a bullet. But I mean, even then, sucks. But if we're looking at the state of the team, we still have Jacoby Myers, still have Kendrick Bourne. We still have Ty Montgomery. Devontae Parker. We now have Nelson Aguilar, and so we're looking at a solid 3-man lineup of Nelson Aguilar, Devontae Parker, and
And it's actually been good because Nelson Aguilar has actually been good so far.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I was just getting into.
Before coming into the season, he was on the outs of that wide receiver room where they didn't know what to do with him, where he was probably on the trading block, but he's played so well that he's played himself into a role that we don't really want to trade this guy right now.
I think going into this season, a lot of the big wide receiver out expectations was, okay, now we have a wide receiver 1, 2, and a flex in Devontae Parker, Jacoby Myers, and Kendrick Bourne. And I think Nelson Aguilar has honestly taken his claim as realistically a wide receiver too. Yeah. He's played fantastic. I mean, if he continues to play the way he is, I mean, granted, it's just preseason. Preseason doesn't mean too much. It's just the guys getting warmed up out there and then sending it out to the backups, let them get some playing time. But he looks good. Like he looks warmed up. He looks ready. He looks excited. Mac looks really good, if I'm being honest.
I mean, he's lost weight. I mean,
Yeah, like physically
I know
wise, he looks
struggled a
fantastic.
couple days, but I know he's also struggling with the offensive line, which I think will come together. I mean, I think
Yeah, I mean, we got Isaiah Wynn, who's in the whole talks of the trade block right now. Which, if we did lose him, it
I
would
think
stink a little bit.
I read like right before we came on that they're not going to trade him, so that's good.
I think truthfully, the biggest loss, and saying this is the biggest loss we've had so far this offseason. Well, no, JC Jackson's definitely the biggest loss, but biggest loss of the last month. James White's retirement.
Yeah, wait, hold on. Before we get into that, I just want to talk about. I want to go back to the wide receivers. Real quick.
Yeah, no, sorry. Go ahead.
So Kendrick Bourne, he was involved in trade talk.
I hate that idea though.
As soon as that came out, I was like, "There's no way." And it's come out that they're not going to do it. But I was thinking, all right, you're probably already not going to re-sign Damian Harris, and you're probably trying to dump him off to someone before, because you don't want to pay him. And Stevenson's been so good that they're going to roll with him.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't hate that idea
Yeah.
because of your mom. Yeah.
Damian Harris and Kendrick Bourne are probably Mac Jones's best friends on the team, and favorite people on the team. If you're going to let Damian Harris walk, you better not get rid of Kendrick Bourne, or that's just going to piss off your quarterback. I know, it's football, it's a business. You don't want to worry about friendships, but
friendships and relationships are just as important as it is the game itself. So
yeah, you don't want to piss off your quarterback. You don't want to ruin the chemistry of your team.
Like I said, chemistry doesn't play. Chemistry plays a big role.
Mhm.
The drive to win plays a good role. The money plays a big role, and
how contract is so team friendly.
Yeah, how players want to play is going to be based on what they're getting out of it. You know what I mean? But some players, given those three options, they're like, hey, the chemistry of this team, the people I'm playing with, I'm having fun out there. The money I'm making for playing, I'm making money. I'm happy. I'm having fun out there. The likeliness of us winning a championship, we're a good team. I'm having fun out there. It all plays into how, at the end of the day, y'all are growing up. Y'all are playing sports in high school, middle school, fucking elementary school. It's like, oh, hey, don't worry about winning or losing. Just have fun. At the end of the day, that's kind of true. If you're getting in your head too much about all this other stuff outside of this sucks. Oh, we're on a losing streak. If you just go out there same day or same way every day, it's you know what? We're gonna play. We're gonna try our best. If we win, cool. If we lose, cool. At the end of the day, if you give out what you get, I'm happy. And I don't hate the Damian Harris trade idea. I hate or not trade, but no re-sign. I hate the Kendrick Bourne idea because personally think Kendrick Bourne's
that would be a terrible trade.
I personally think Kendrick Bourne's making a very strong claim for himself with how he played last year.
In training camp, that was the concern. But
yes,
but as much as I like the 1-2 punch of Damian Harris from Andre Stevenson, I mean, I get why you don't have to pay him. You can run with Stevenson, and it was very clear why they drafted 2 running backs as they were ready to move Harris out, and I don't know. And my thing with Bourne is he was good last year. I mean, he has the chemistry with Mac. They're gonna figure it out. You just gotta give it some time. And I don't think you're gonna jump into a trade. And I know it came out that the Patriots no longer are being called about Kendrick Bourne, but don't want to because he was Mac's #1 target, and he has a very team friendly deal. So that's good, but it was just they're not going to get rid of him because you can't. But now, I mean, Harry, we can get into the James White retirement thing. Yeah, I think it's a big loss, obviously, because he's a Patriots legend. I don't know how big of a role he would have had this year anyway, because I know he was struggling with his injury still, and obviously it'd be great to have him, love him, but I don't know, Monte Stevenson, Damian Harris is such a strong 1-2 punch. You can't even.
They would have taken the touches from him,
yeah.
But locker room presence, the chemistry and the happiness he brings to the team, that's a large part of football as well.
You know, is that one guy that's been at training camp a lot, and he was at the in-stadium practice I was at, Patrick Chung. he's been around the locker room a lot. I think
Yeah.
he still lives around here. I would have to guess because like he brings his son and he's been involved with the team very much. So I mean that's definitely a nice influence to have, especially with like Hightower being gone and like McCourty being left by himself as like a leader of the defense. I feel like.
Yeah, he was on the field for with his son for like during drills and practices, right? Just hanging out with the guys.
Yeah, he was.
Just enjoying himself out there.
What?
I said, yeah, he was just enjoying himself out there.
But I don't think White's a huge loss. Well, he's a huge
morale loss is
Yeah,
what I was trying to
team
get at.
chemistry.
I feel like playing wise, like I think you're fine.
No, yeah, it's kind of like the Tyquan Thornton thing. It's just like,
And as a huge JJ Taylor fan, because he came on our podcast. Actually, fun fact, he signed the jersey, and when he came up to sign the jersey, I started talking to him, and he remembered who I was, and he was like, "Oh shit," because I was like, I don't know if you remember, he came on our podcast. He was like, "Oh shit," like he was laughing.
That's funny.
But I feel like if he got some opportunities, he's so quick, he could get the ball. I know, like I've seen, like he might get cut, but I think the James White retiring thing is huge for him, and he's been playing so well in the preseason, both on special teams and as a running back, because he's so fast. But like, and he's small, but he's quick. So I think he might be able to get on the team, and maybe take some special teams roles.
Yeah, but what do you think of that Pierre Strong sign?
So I think Pierre Strong will probably make the team. Well,
I don't think Kevin Harris will.
No, I think Kevin Harris will be a practice squad guy.
Yeah.
Until next year, but like. There's got a lot of running backs in the running back room. Like that,
we did.
I saw people today saying like, "Oh, they just signed Kenny and Drake," but like they got a ton of.
It's a terrible idea. We don't need any more running backs.
Yeah, and Ty Montgomery played phenomenal in the game the other day.
He did. He really did.
Like I feel like you can't really sacrifice guys like playing time for that have been in the locker room. So I'm not really worried about. Back to James, I'm not really worried about it, but I don't know how you guys feel about it. Aiden, what do you think?
Yeah, so I agree with you guys. On the field, he wasn't really giving us a whole lot since before he got hurt last year. It's kind of been a few years since he's really given solid production. But I think that it's really more of an off the field effect. I mean, being able to, give wisdom to the younger running backs in the room like Damian Harris or Ramondre,
Hold on, Harry, what was that?
I was wondering if somebody
take a picture for the story, and
I was wondering if somebody noticed what I was doing back there.
All right, sorry, Aiden.
But anyway, I was saying that he's a good mentor for the younger running backs, being able to share that knowledge that he's gained over the years. Being, in my opinion, should have been the Super Bowl MVP versus the Falcons. He was huge in that game. He played for us for 8 years. Familiar with Belichick's system. I think that really provided a lot for the younger running backs to be able to learn from, be able to model their own games after. But I think we'll be able to survive. We'll figure it out without him. But a big loss more so for team chemistry than for on the field production.
Yeah, that was kind of what I was getting at when I was like, oh man, that I think the biggest loss to our team is James White in the past few weeks, purely because of what the person he brought to the locker room. He was a champion. He was a multi-winner. He was a just gritty, nasty guy in the field, and he did what he did to get it done, and he loved the game. And I think that really reflected around everybody else, especially while he was out. They're like, fuck, we gotta put one on for the big guy. You know what I mean? I think losing that, I think it'll give him a sense of damn. But I also think it'll be like, you know what? Let's do it for James, you know what I mean? And it kind of brings up that classic debate where it's like, wow, what really makes a superstar team? Like, what really makes a championship team? The talent backing it, or the drive to win from the guys you see. And honestly, looking at our lineup, you don't see really any star-studded names. I mean, if we're talking 2 years ago, 3 years ago, Hunter Henry, it's a big name. Johnny Smith, that's a big name. Ty Montgomery had his moments. And Nelson Aguilar had his moments. Devontae Parker was, he's always been a, probably a tier 2 wide receiver his whole career. But you don't see like, oh wow, that team's crazy strong. Like they got the nastiest offense, nasty. Like, we just got like a bunch of good guys. And if those good guys want it more than a bunch of great guys, then I fully heartedly believe that they can get it done.
Yeah, and I just want to move on to the defensive side of the ball. Just real quick, just going over. I mean, I know you said your concerns are in the secondary, but I everything I'm seeing is Jalen Mills is stepping into the cornerback one role very nicely. He's been playing well. Jonathan Jones looking good. A couple of the rookies have been stepping up. And then like you still got McCourty out back. Adrian Phillips is still looking good. You got Duggar. The linebackers are like that's the biggest question mark. Nobody knows who the hell's going to be playing linebacker.
Hey! We got Anthony Jennings out there. Don't forget.
I don't even know if he'll play, but Chris Barmore apparently has been a huge beast in the middle. That's huge. Then you got Judon on the side, obviously.
You got Jabril Peppers on the other side.
Yeah. Jabril Peppers like playing safety. Like you also got him. I don't know. I mean, I think Malcolm Butler would have been like the third cornerback anyway. So like, yeah, that hurts. It probably Jojon Williams sucked before he got hurt anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt a bunch, but it's just like, having the extra guy out there,
But so I mean, I think we have like a average cornerback, like room across the board. I think our defense will be fine. I think it'll be serviceable. We just need to put up points. Like if the defense is just meh, like an average, that's fine. If the offense is as good as they should be. I mean, you've seen the Chiefs have gotten by with an average defense like forever. Like, I mean, other than a couple like select like solid players, they've been averaged on defense and they've been doing it. So I don't know. But yeah, that's my quick spiel about the defense. But I want to move on to the offensive play callers, and then we'll wrap it up. Matt Patricia or Joe Judge, or even I hear him here now, Belichick might be in the mix for play calling. I think it's going to be Patricia based on preseason, and what I've read is like Patricia was calling the plays for a certain quarterback and Judge was calling for the other. And just from watching, I feel like the plays that Patricia were calling were better. I don't think Judge actually did a terrible job, but I think Patricia was definitely more comfortable, which he had a coordinator role. He was a defensive coordinator, but he's done the play calling before. So it's not like he doesn't have experience with that. Yeah, he struggled as a head coach, but like there's a lot of other aspects to than like to being a head coach than just a coordinator. So I feel like, and we don't know where he like his is like, I want to say interest lied before he became a defensive coordinator. Maybe he was an offensive guy, like, and maybe he was a mix of both and he just ended up being a defensive coordinator and now he's on the offensive side of the ball. So, I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I mean, he has experience, like he has a good rapport, like in New England. Yeah, he struggled what are you doing?
I was looking at myself and seeing how laggy the camera is, and I'm sitting there like, wow, this is terrible.
But like, yeah, he struggled in Detroit, but like that's Detroit. So many coaches have struggled there. I mean, the team sucks. Only so many. And I'm fine with him calling the plays. I'm a little less confident in Judge just because he was a special teams coordinator. I think Judge should have went right back to the special teams job considering how bad special teams was last year. But I don't know. I mean, I'm fine with Patricia. And I don't know. What do you guys think?
Honestly, I don't think it matters. I think if you just like, every first down, just put Nick Folk out there and have him drill a 90-yard piss missile through the uprights, we're good.
Yeah.
But realistically speaking, I'd honestly really love to see Bill out there.
Yeah, my thing with Bill is that means if Bill is calling the plays for the offense, that means he's going to have to turn his back on the defense, and he's a defensive-minded guy. We know that, which means when the defense is on the field, he's going to be talking to the offense, and he's going to have to fully rely on those defensive guys to be like Gerard Mayo and his son. Like,
Yeah, just fire everybody else. He can do it.
I feel like I would prefer Bill to just kind of be the overseer of everything versus.
Which I can see. I can see that. I'd like to see. I'd like to see Patricia try us out. Try us out on defense because he knows so goddamn much about offense, and it would be nice to see him. Like show what he like, all his experience knowing like every single coordination. Like he's greatly and widely respected as one of the best offensive coordinators in league history. Try him out at defense. And I mean, Bill's kind of the same, huh?
You mean offense?
Yes. Sorry if I messed up my words there. I think Bill's kind of the same way. Like
I don't think
at the end of the day, I'm not worried about who we put out there. I'm not giving Judge any credit right now, purely because if I'm being 1,000% honest, I don't know jack about him. But I know Matt Patricia. I know Bill Belichick. I know I can't be let down with either of them. So,
yeah.
Aiden,
So, yeah, I'm comfortable with Patricia calling the plays. I'd agree that Belichick would be best suited for a role that kind of is able to look at both of them from afar, like an overseer, as you were saying, Cross, because their defense just lost so much that he's really going to need to focus, especially in the cornerback position, safeties, getting them acclimated, a lot of new pieces there. But I mean, recency bias plays into a lot of this too, right? I mean, Matt Patricia, when he went to the Lions, everybody was saying what a great hire that was. Lions are finally going to be on the rise. And I mean, the Lions have just been bad. They've been rebuilding since the Barry Sanders era, to be honest. So they've been bad for so long.
Calvin Johnson.
And now, yeah, you're not wrong there.
Calvin Johnson's my guy. He was on my top 5 favorite athletes all time list.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
Yeah, I mean,
Chuck
Patricia, I feel
Liddell
comfortable with the plays, even though he was a defensive coordinator last time. He's been around the league for a while. I'd say he knows what he's doing. Looks pretty. The plays look pretty good.
He knows he has the mind of a defensive coordinator, which means he
knows what the defense is gonna be doing.
That's what I was trying to say. Just the exact opposite. Because I had a brain fart.
Yeah, he should be able to read the defense. He should be able to
he'd make those Showtime calls where it's like I see
coordinator should do.
Yeah. He'd make those Showtime calls. He'd set out and he'd be like, hey, we're gonna do this, this, this. They'd go out there, he'd see that real time. Okay, hey, stop it. Change it to the he can read that shit easy because that's his live life, laugh, love. You know what I mean? Like he just understands that, fresh cut of. I'm just saying words now.
Yeah, if you give him a bowl of cereal, he's one of those guys who finishes all the milk.
It's a bowl of Cheerios, and they'll drink every last drop of milk.
Oh, my bad. I forgot.
Get the quote right.
Anyway, so I mean,
finish every last.
I'm not as worried about training camp and preseason as everyone else is. I mean, we got the Raiders this week. We got Josh McDaniels. We'll see how this goes. But just real quick, just give your record predictions, and then we'll call it a day. So my record prediction, I think they will go. I was at, I think 11 the last time we talked, but I think I'm going to go 10-7. I think because I think they're going to go 10-7. That's my thing, and I think they're just going to miss the playoffs. So I'm going 10-7. Aiden, what are you looking at?
Yeah, I got them either going 10-7 or 9-8. I think it'll be a little tough with some of the games that they have to play. I mean, Lambeau is a really hard place to play at, especially for a second-year quarterback.
I've been struggling. From what I've read, Aaron Rodgers is pissed at all his receivers.
Oh, yeah.
Their defense isn't awesome. So I that was actually a game that I was saying they were going to lose, and now I think they're going to win.
Yeah, I could see them winning that. I just think it's tough to go into Aaron Rodgers' place and beat them. But, I mean, you got the Buffalo Bills twice there, juggernaut this year. But I do think that the Pats will have an over 500 record. I'd like to have them hit double-digit wins, maybe even get to 11 games. They can win some of those close ones. But realistically, I think 10-7 or 9-8 being
It
on the
all depends
bubble
on
of
the
the
toss-up.
playoffs makes sense.
It really all depends on the toss-up games. Harry, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at the schedule right now, and
No, I mean, like, what are you looking at for record? What's your
yeah,
guess?
so that's what I'm saying. Let me get to it.
What's your prediction?
I'm looking at the schedule right now,
Uh,
and after looking at the games, yeah, I mean, like, it's hard not to see like a 10-7 show
so
out from them.
Dolphins week 1. I think we beat the Dolphins twice. I really don't. I really don't see us losing to that team. I don't think they're as good as they seem. And then we get.
I think we get piss smoked by the Raiders.
I think no, their offensive line is terrible and their defense isn't awesome. Their defense is pretty good. I mean their offensive line is terrible. So, but Steelers, I think is a win. I think we beat the Ravens. So that's 3. I think we beat the Packers. That's 4. Beat the Lions. That's 5. Beat the Browns. That's 6. Beat the Bears. That's 7. Beat the Jets. That's 8. We could literally go 8-0 to start a season, and then Colts. I think we lose. Beat the Jets again. That's 9. Lose to the Vikings. Lose to the Bills. I think we beat the Cardinals. Actually, yeah, I'm looking at 11 wins. I take it back. I'm going at 11. 10 or 11 for me. I just think these toss-up games, we should win. I mean, if we're playing how we should win. And I think we will get there. I mean, but Harry, what was your number?
So looking through, I'm saying we're losing quite a bit. I say we lose to the Dolphins week 1. I don't think we have trouble against the Steelers. I think we lose to the Ravens week 3. Then we lose to the Packers week 4.
Ravens is
But
one of my toss-up games.
yeah, that's a big toss up for me. I think we lose to the Ravens. I think we lose to the Packers and the Ravens. So right now we're sitting at 1 win, just beating the Steelers. But I think we streak from here. We beat the Browns, beat the Bears, beat the Jets, beat the Colts, beat the Jets, beat the Vikings, and then we get to this Bills games. I think we're taking one of them, and I don't think it's going to be the December game. I think it's going to be the last game of the season where we beat them.
The Bills.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe we'll sit guys in the last game of the season for the playoff.
that's what I'm saying. That's basically my main thing. So if we're going off that, Steelers is 1, Lions is 2, Browns 3, Bears 4, Jets 5, Colts 6, Jets 7, Vikings 8, Raiders 9, and yeah, Dolphins 10. Yeah, Bills 11. Yeah, honestly, yeah, I think we take 11 or 10.
Games we will be a solid team. And
Oh yeah, but that's the thing. We're not given any easy wins. You know what I mean? I mean, mid-season it's a wash, but like once you get to like early season, first 5 and like last 5, like we have like some like no shit real competition to go through.
yeah. All right. Well, that's all I got. I think that's pretty solid run through of everything Patriots. Thanks everyone for listening. This episode was brought to you by Celsius. Go check them out. Thank you to Harry and Aiden for hopping on.
Hey, always remember, don't let them get you till they got you.
Whatever the hell that means. And we'll end it on that. So thanks everyone. Go follow us on social media at offbeat_sports on Instagram, at offbeat sports on TikTok. Harry and David have been killing it on there. So go check it out. And we'll see you next time.